of democracy. Is America's vote going to decide the next world order? As star power and old allies back Kamala Harris,
we have momentum. It is on our side. Can you feel it?
is Trump tap dancing his way to history? The greatest battle is now down to the wire. Whether red state or blue state, all want change.
Lord, we need the Trump! Win, win, win. USA!
Ladies and gentlemen, in just a few hours from now, America will vote in an election that is now down to the wire for the 538 seats. Will it be Donald Trump or would it be Kamala Harris? Who will have the last laugh and get the winning mark of 270? That's an answer not just the Americans want, but the entire world has its eyes, ears, and now perhaps anxious heartbeats on. Last-minute outreach by the two candidates, the political war of words, and the ever-changing opinion polls. All of it has been a culmination of months of campaigning, twists and turns aplenty, including two major assassination attempts and a midway candidate change. A few red states are reportedly turning blue and vice versa. The uncertainty of the 7 purple or swing states remain. A tight race has ensued in Michigan, Pennsylvania, North Carolina, Arizona, Wisconsin, and Nevada. However, till polls last came in, Republican Donald Trump was leading his rival Democrat Kamala Harris in most of the crucial swing states. Now, about 70 million Americans have already cast their votes in early voting. Voters have participated either by mail or through early in-person voting. The rest of the Americans, which also includes immigrants, will vote on the 5th of November, followed immediately by a rather complex system of counting of votes, which might end on the 6th of November or will take a few weeks. The deadline for that is 11th of December. Now, as far as their pitches to Indian Americans is concerned, both Kamala and Trump reached out to one of the largest immigrant groups in the US. Indian origin Kamala Harris keeps evoking her roots, while Donald Trump recently condemned the attack on Hindus in Bangladesh while extending his wishes on Diwali. What would a Trump presidency mean for NRIs and the India-US relations? On the show tonight, we will get a Republican perspective right from United States. But before I get in my guest on Global Mirror, Ritanshu Bhattacharya is here with us, giving a quick explainer on how the US polls work. Ritanshu, take it away.
Well, thanks for that. So the big buzzword here in everyone's mind is how exactly do the US elections work? How are they separate from different from the Indian elections? And is it possible for someone to get more votes but not be elected as president? Well, that's happened before, most recently in 2016. First, look at the similarities here. So we have 240 eligible voters in the United States here. And once again, just in the case of India, where you do not elect your prime minister directly, you elect the person who elects the prime minister. In the same case in the United States, you elect an elector who then elects the president. Here, the total electoral votes, similar to the total Lok Sabha MPs, is 538. In India, remember, the halfway mark is 272. In the United States, the halfway mark is 270. So the first person to get 270 electoral votes becomes president here. Now, these 270 votes, electoral votes, are divided on the basis of states. Each state gets a number of electoral votes proportionate to its population, which is why the big states have more representation. The small states, not so much. Now, here is where the differences start coming up. And let's now proceed to the next important data point here. The key difference, as we mentioned, one, the electoral votes are demarcated on the basis of states, not in an overall homogeneous unit like we have in India. Now, here's the key difference here. say in Uttar Pradesh, which has 80 Lok Sabha seats here, it is possible for, say, the BJP to get 50 and for the Samajwadi Party to get 30 based on the number of votes they get. However, in the United States, in every state, it's winner take all. So, for instance, in a state like Texas, which is one of the largest states with 38 electoral votes, if a Republican candidate, in this case Donald Trump, even if he gets one vote more than Kamala Harris, he gets all 38 electoral votes in his kitty. So winner take all is a very important thing. And as a result, historically, there are some states which have always voted Republican. Historically, there are some states which have always voted Democrat. So these are states which are seen as banker states. There are some states which are known to swing between Republican and Democrats, and those are known as the swing states. The election always focuses around them. Some states, though, we mentioned, only 2 of them unproportionally divide the votes, not on the basis of winner take all. Then, of course, these college of electors, or the electoral college, then decides to cast their vote in the beginning of January, and the next president takes oath on the 28th of January here. Now, most cases here, if you have elected a Republican elector, the Republican elector will vote for the Republican candidate here. There is hardly been a chance, but there has been a switch. But that procedure exists. So let's then wrap it up by comparing the 2 electoral processes. As we see, 538 electors are selected based on each state's results here. So it's possible theoretically that if you combine all the votes, maybe you would have gotten more votes. But in the basis of the winner take all, you would have gotten lesser votes electorally. Now, so an electoral vote is essentially a representative republic. A popular vote is a direct democracy. That's the big difference here. The next important difference is that we look at citizens voting for a delegate based on party affiliation. Citizens vote for their choice of official here. So, for instance, in a popular vote, you vote directly for the person you want to be at the head of state. Electoral vote, you elect the person who will elect the head of the state here. Delegates convene, as we said, at some point for the next 2 months and convene and cast their votes here. In a popular vote, such as in India, votes are counted, and on the basis of popular majority, the winner is announced. So this is roughly the difference between American elections and elections which we are familiar in India. The things to keep in mind as you track the counting process in the United States is, one is which way are the swing states heading, and based on that, who reaches the magic number of 270. Once that's done, the official process will still take 2 months, but as we know, it's more or less done and dusted once someone reaches the magic figure of 270. Back to you in the studios.
Very much for giving us that explainer on how the US polls work. Let's also get in my guest on Global Mirror to talk about how he thinks the US election will be panning out. On the broadcast, I'm joined by Mr. Shalabh Kumar, Republican Party GOP, also Chair of Indian and Hindu Coalitions. Mr. Shalabh Kumar, good evening, namaskar. Thank you very much for speaking with us on Global Mirror. Mr. Kumar, I know if I ask you who's winning this US election, you will be saying Donald Trump. You have been, a vocal supporter of Donald Trump since 2016. But help us understand what really is going on there. Just a few hours from here, the ground sentiment seems to be that this is a neck-and-neck race that is going to happen. Certainly, some polls also show that Donald Trump is leading in some of the most crucial swing states.
First of all, namaskar. Now, I'll tell you as an analyst first, rather than as the chairman of the Hindu and Indian American Coalition of Republican National Committee and founder of Republican Hindu Coalition. So I will tell you as an analyst, it would appear that comparing this to 2016, when Hillary was in polls 5 to 6 points ahead in all the battleground states. Yet President Trump won. Your commentary on how the elections go in the United States was very good. However, I would like to add something to it. In states, in like 2016, it was 85,000 votes. That's all among the, let's say, 150, 160 million votes that decided who will be the president of the United States in 2016. So it's certain counties, certain states, uh, that will decide who wins the electoral votes of that particular state. So if we just pure
Yeah.
do the analysis as compared to 2016, it would appear that President Trump will win because the polls, at best, you could describe them right now neck to neck. It's like Pennsylvania is
Yeah.
almost like a 48 to 48% or 49 to 49%. So it's very, very close. But if you look at the history from 2016, it will appear that the President Trump should prevail.
Okay, Mr. Shalabh Kumar, we've been having these conversations since the U.S. election campaigning began. What would a Donald Trump presidency mean for India? We've had an experience in the past. This time around, of course, the concerns are different. But there have been certain issues that Indian immigrants, NRIs like yourselves, have had during the Trump presidency as well, whether it's the green card backlog, whether it's the visa issues, the employment, the immigration, the strict immigration policies that Donald Trump had during his time. Do you not think that will go against Donald Trump as far as the Indian community in the U.S. is concerned?
Not at all. In fact, President Trump has announced policies which are very, very pro merit-based legal immigration. And, nobody's going to question that Hindu and Indian American community is merit-based. There's a lot of merit in that whole community. So what the Kamala and Joe Biden presidency in the last 4 years, and if Kamala gets elected to be the president of the United States next 4 years, what do they really care for? Just look at the record. 200,000 a month of illegal entrants from the southern border of the United States, 10 million total that have entered under the czarship. She was appointed as the border czar, that's Kamala was, and she has allowed total open borders. Anybody could come in, and of course, they're entitled to all the benefits which Americans, taxpayers, who get. So therefore, we, the taxpayers, now have to pay for all the illegal entrants. Among them, a lot of criminals. So we have become like an open door to all the bad people in the world to come into our country, the United States of America. So on the other hand, now let's say the immigration you talked about, visas. There are two groups of people, let's say among young Americans. One is DACA, Deferred Action on Childhood Arrival. That is applicable only to if you arrived here illegally. The other group is DALCA. That's the Hindu and Indian American community. Deferred Action on Legal Childhood Arrival. There's a quirk in the system that and that's got nothing to do with either Joe Biden or Kamala or with President Trump. The system is such that the backlog on green cards for H-1B applicants or the people who are on H-1B has gone up to 140 years. 140 years, like next life you'll get your green card. But President Trump has recently declared all the kids who otherwise lose their status when they become 21, if they are graduate of American universities, they automatically get qualification for green card and they will not be kicked out of the country. So again, as far as immigration is concerned, our people are smart enough to recognize that for merit-based legal immigration, President Trump is the best.
But you know, Mr. Kumar, there has also been a concern about the kind of trade ties that India and United States will have if Donald Trump is re-elected. A few weeks back, he said Prime Minister Modi is a fantastic man. In the same breath, he said India is the biggest abuser of import tariffs. How do you think that will be impacted?
President Trump's policy, ever since my first meeting with him, where he invited an open-ended, the meeting lasted about 2 hours when he was a candidate for president back in July, first week of July of 2016, before RSC, Republican Hindu Coalition, supported him and his candidacy. So at that time, he had, just like a businessman, not unlike politicians. You know, I've been around politicians since 2000 in the United States, but when I first met him in detail, asking about policies, he was like no other politician, not like Mitt Romney and Bush and all these people prior to that. His answers was very direct, very correct, which he implemented. For example, allowing sale of LNG, natural liquid gas, advanced weapon systems, nuclear materials, and all that, and cutting off foreign aid to Pakistan to zero, all the things which he promised me in July of 2016, he carried out his promises, and as soon as he became president. So his policies towards India, he likes India, he likes Hindus. He said he loves Hindus. His recent tweet is phenomenal. Difference between what Kamala says and what President Trump says about Hindus worldwide and the atrocities done on Hindus. And also,
Yes.
he is openly again said that he has a great friendship with the Prime Minister Modi. They see eye to eye on just about everything. And as far as tariffs are concerned, you are going to see a big push towards a free trade agreement between the United States and Bharat. So, in all those respects, policies-wise, there is not even, sometimes it's 51-49, 55-45, but here, policies-wise, there's absolutely no question in my mind, as just as simple as an analyst, I would say that President Trump will be pro-India, and whereas if Kamala was to become the president, all we will hear will be, oh, Kashmir, we have problems in Kashmir, we have minorities we got to worry about, and let's push towards Azad Kashmir. When Article 370 and 35 were repealed, what did RAW, Research Wing, our intelligence agency said about Kamala? Kamala has some real radical views about Kashmir, and India needs to be cautious because she was totally critical of India. I mean, you know very well, Article 370 and 35 repeal was bipartisan, very much bipartisan in India. But she, all of a sudden, was against Article 370 and 35. Her closest advisors are pro-Pakistan. They are really radical left, and so it doesn't bore well for
Mr. Kumar,
India relationship.
Mr. Shalabh Kumar, I'm glad you mentioned that tweet that Donald Trump had done on Diwali, extending his wishes. But more importantly, he had talked about the attacks on Hindu minorities in Bangladesh, and he's also, reached out to the Hindu voter. I want to understand from you why this need was felt to reach out to the Hindu community at this point. We've seen several protests happening across United States by the Hindu communities when Hindu minorities were being attacked in Bangladesh. Does it also stem from the fact that the Biden and Kamala administration have been silent on the Hindu attacks? Does it also stem from the fact that there are concerns about America's alleged involvement in the regime change, and a violent one at that, in Bangladesh? Are these the reasons why it was felt that Donald Trump must reach out to the Hindu community in the United States?
Well, let me tell you the truth behind the scenes. Okay, so um, our campaign this time around, even though I'm the chair of the Hindu Coalition of Republican National Committee, the organization that's responsible for election of the president of the United States from a Republican point of view. That's the nominating board. So our campaign has been a little slower. They've seen it's not like 2016. 2016, we started that campaigning in August, and here it's towards the end of October when we were able to convince President Trump's campaign, not President Trump himself. President Trump is so vocal about Hindu rights and Hindu concerns. He attended about 2 years ago, he opened up Mar-a-Lago to be decorated as a Hindu palace. And he spent 3 hours with us in celebrating Diwali, and where he had even supported the concept of Hindu Holocaust Memorial and so many other things, which are very, very pro-Hindu. So his policies have been extremely clear, and we are glad that finally he was able to issue a very strong statement on Hindus in Bangladesh, in Canada, even in the United States, somewhat that there is a Hindu phobia there, and then there is atrocities. He actually acknowledged, when he acknowledged Hindu Holocaust Memorial, that he will support the building of Hindu Holocaust Memorial. That's 2 years ago. That's got nothing to do with elections. He was not even a candidate at that time. So that itself tells you how supportive President Trump has been of Hindus, and it's not something which he just invented 4 days before the election.
Okay, quickly have to wrap this up, Mr. Shalabh Kumar. A quick, one-word answer from you. Are you expecting a clear majority for the Republican Party for Donald Trump, or do you think it's going to take a few weeks till we get to know the final results, and there could be a tie as well?
I think by 2 a.m., 3 a.m., November 6th morning, Eastern Standard Time, we will have a clear winner.
Okay, let's see how that pans out. Mr. Shalabh Kumar, thank you very much for joining us on Global Mirror and speaking with us and helping us understand the entire Republican perspective. Best of luck to you and the entire Republican Party as that battle pans out on the 5th of November. Thank you very much.